Hi everyone, welcome to the channel, or welcome back if you're a returning watcher. I'm George, I'm the Good Lad Gamer, and it's times 2 Sacreds this weekend, so I'm really excited, and I'm not pulling these shards because of any other events, for any fragments or fusions or anything like that. I'm going to be pulling them out of pure enjoyment, so I'm really excited for it. I think in the last couple of weeks, maybe even months, I've only been pulling shards because there's been a fragment or a fusion, so for once I'm going to be doing it out of pure enjoyment, and I'm going to see what I get. And hopefully we can get some nice legendaries out of it that I think I'm owed. I think I'm owed, to be honest, because I think in the last Sacred Shard video I didn't get any, and it wasn't a times 2 event, and I was pretty sad, and I was pretty down and out about it. So hopefully we can see some nice legendaries on the way. But just before we get into pulling shards, guys, if you enjoy my content and want to see more of it, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. Subscribing makes a huge amount of difference to me, and it really shows me that I'm making good content that people actually enjoy. So if you want to see more of it, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Let's get in to pulling these sacreds. So here we are on the Kale account. We're going to do 10 sacreds on each account. So it's probably going to be quite a quick video, I suspect, unless we get some crazy legendaries that I'm going to go through the kit of. I mean, any legendary that I pull, I'll go through the kit of them. But if it's going to be one of these crazy ones with a list like this of different abilities that they have, then it should be quite a quick video. So let's get into it. Let's warm up, warm your shoulders up, and let's go into pulling shard number 1. Come on, a legendary straight out the bat. There is a times 10 on one of the new legendaries. We've got a Fennex on the first pull. I'm not too interested in Fennex. I've got him on both of my accounts. He is a really hard-hitting champion. His A1 is one of the best in the game, I would say. Probably definitely for an epic. So yeah, definitely don't sleep on Fennex. But he's not the legendary that I'm looking for. And we'll just go and look at this times 10. We've got a times 10 for this person. Fina Blade of Aravia. Sure. If we pull her, we'll go into her kit. She does have one of these cool auras. Increases all ally speed in all battles by 20%. Increases all ally crit rate in all battles by 15%. Only applies to high elves. So she's one of these faction specialists. So if you're in a team with the same faction, they get bonuses from this champion. I think there was another one for the Banner Lords. I can't remember his name. But if we pull her, I'll go into her kit. I'll go into her kit and just see what she's all about. But on to shard number 2. A legendary. Oh, there we go. Oh. Okay, Verzolf the Grim, not the champion that I was expecting, but at one point was one of the hardest hitting HP-based champions in the game. So let me just quickly go through his kit, make sure there's nothing that's going to trip me up when I'm reading it out to you guys, and then I'll tell you all about him. So here we are, Verzolf the Grim. On his A1, attacks one enemy, has a 50% chance of placing a provoked debuff for 1 turn, also places a shield buff on this champion for 2 turns equal to 10% of this champion of their max HP. Damage is based on HP. On his A2, attacks all enemies, places an extra hit on enemies under stun, freeze, fear, true fear, provoke, petrification. Each hit has a 75% chance of placing a leech buff for 2 turns. And then on his A3, places a 60% increased defense buff on all allies for 2 turns. Also places an ally protection buff on all allies except this champion for 2 turns. And then on his A3, which is a passive, or his passive, when hit, has a 20% chance of placing a provoke debuff on the attacker for 1 turn. Occurs once per hit. And on his aura, increases all ally HP in all battles by 33%. So he was actually a really good champion. And when he first came out, I thought, this guy, he's going to be good. And I thought maybe he could go into my clan boss team. But when I built him out, I don't know which count it was on, but when I built him out, I was just really underwhelmed by him, so I never really used him. But it's a legendary all the same, and potentially on this account, it's not a dupe, so that's pretty exciting. But I am going to just move on to the next one. And I apologise, guys. I've got a green screen effect around me, and I don't really want it, but I've started the video with it on. But I was just going to do my background, even though there's nothing in my background. I just thought it looked a bit cleaner, but I'm cut out in a green screen now, so I'm just going to go with it. We've got an Aina, not interested, epic, moving on. Who have we got? Another epic. I was going to say another legendary, but I was getting a bit ahead of myself. Yumatogi, not interested, no epics in this roster, please. They're just going to be food. They're just going to be food game. I don't need them. We got a Zelatar. Not interested in Zelatar. Moving on. I tell you what I am getting, though, is points for the Wixwell event that's going on for a blessing for Wixwell. Another epic. Suiren. I'm not interested, though. It's an epic. Moving on. Why do they make the name so hard to say? I don't get it. Der the Hungerer. Not interested. Go away, Der. Deher. I don't know. Kuanichi. Why do they make it so hard? On to the next one. No legendary, or it wasn't a legendary. And we've got a Jinturo. Juro Jin? No, not Jinturo. Juro Jin. Jinturo I would like a copy of him, please. If that's what's coming, game, and you've just tricked me. It's not. It's another epic. Miruka. I don't know. That's it. That's all 10. So we did get a legendary. We got Versolf the Grim on the Kale account, and it was a dupe because it's not showing up in my index. What I'll do, I'll go onto my other account and we'll do exactly the same over there, and hopefully, we get some legendaries. And here we are on the Galek account. We're going to do exactly the same. Fingers crossed we get like 5 legendaries. Right? That seems reasonable, right? Let's go into the first one. Legendary out the bat. I think that's a reasonable thing to ask for. We got Aox the Rememberer, great champion. If you can build him tanky, he can get you through a lot of content. He's a really, really good champion. So if you pull him, look into his kit. Absolutely, Aox the Rememberer. I mean, he could be a legendary. He's that good, in my opinion anyway. I've got him built out in Immortal and Regen gear, and he solos a lot of content for me. Well, not solos, but he gets through after a certain stage. He starts soloing because other champions get taken out. On to the next one, though. He's still an epic, a very good epic, but he's still an epic. Got another epic. I mean, we're running out of room for 5 legendaries if we're going to keep putting epics. Ambassador Lethlin, cool looking champion. Don't know anything about him. Looks like he's probably new because I don't recognise him or his name, to be honest. But moving on, he's an epic. I don't want epics. I don't want them. They're just going to be food for me, so not interested. Kinagashi, cool looking skin. The Shadowkin are my favourite faction aesthetically. I think they look really cool. I'm really into that sort of Japanesey mythology, folklore-y stuff. So yeah, it's definitely my favourite faction. I think that champion looks really cool. But Kinagashi is an epic, and I don't want epics. On to the next one. Come on. Aina, got her on the other account. Not interested. Moving on. No epics, please. A legendary. Back-to-back legendaries. A Trumbor. Epic. Moving on. Another epic. Delver. I mean, I'm putting all these faces, but I save up my Sacred Shards. I have far too many Sacred Shards. So it's about time I start pulling them. We've got Shatterbones, Man-Eater's brother, but not as good. No, Shatterbones is good, just not as utilitarian as Man-Eater. He's a really good champion. So Romero, another epic. I don't think I'm going to get 5 legendaries out of this pull, but hopefully 1. Hey, there we go. And it's a Blizzard the Howler. I've already got Blizzard. He was a fusion, a quite recent fusion. So, well, I guess, was he the Christmas fusion? Might have been the Christmas fusion. He looks like he'd be the Christmas fusion. Blizzard was a fusion, or the other one, Fragment Summons. Cool looking champion if you're into that sort of aesthetic. Let's go into his kit and we'll have a little chat about him. Give me a sec. Let me read up on his kit and then I'll go through it with you guys. So his kit doesn't look too extensive. It's not going to tongue-tie me too much. So on his A1, attacks 3 times at random. Each hit has a 40% chance of placing a freeze debuff for 1 turn. On his A2, removes any stun, sleep, fear, true fear, freeze, provoke, petrification debuffs from all allies, then places an increased defense buff on all allies for 2 turns, also places an ally protection buff on all allies except this champion for 2 turns. Then on his A3, attacks all enemies, has a 75% chance of placing a freeze debuff for 1 turn, also has a 75% chance of decreasing turn meter of all enemies by 30%, and then on his passive, whenever an enemy tries to place a freeze debuff on this champion, instantly transfers it from this champion to that enemy. And then the active effect of that, whenever this champion is killed, revives them with 30% HP and 30% turn meter and places a revive on death buff on them for 1 turn. So I thought Blizzard was going to be the answer to hard Fire Knight. And he still might be. I might be completely wrong here, but I haven't seen him being used that much. I haven't seen him being used. And I think I haven't built him out and I haven't used him, but because freeze is the only way to decrease the turn meter on the hard Fire Knight, I thought this freeze on this A1 and this freeze on his A3 were going to be the answer to that. If you could, well, maybe now that I've got 2, maybe it is the answer. But for hard Fire Knight, level 10, stage 10, I think it is, your stats have to be so high, and I don't think I've got the gear to make 2 Blizzards to be able to combat the Fire Knight. But maybe I'm wrong, maybe I can just load them with speed and no other stats, and then they can keep the turn meter down so the Fire Knight never takes a turn. But getting through the waves is going to be hard enough for that dungeon, so... But anyway, I might be wrong. Please let me know in the comments if people are using him. If he was the answer to hard Fire Knight, then maybe I'm wrong, and I'll hold my hands up, and I don't mind that. And I'll build him out. But for me, he just didn't quite do it. He didn't quite do it. But moving on, we're going to see if there's any more champions. If I've got one left. Last one. It's a legendary. Back to back. It's a Venomage. And I think this might be the first Venomage on this account. And Venomage is really good for Cursed City, for the boss. What's his name? I can't remember his name. But Venomage is really good for the boss because Venomage has a heal reduction and poisons, which then tick damage on the boss. So Venomage, really good champion. If you pull Venomage, keep an eye on him or her, them. Keep an eye on them and see if they're in your vault or anything like that, and if they can be helpful in one of your teams. But anyway, moving on. We've got no more shards to pull on this video. So I guess that's it. And there we are, guys. That was all of my 20 Sacred Shards. I've got 2 legendaries out of it, 1 on each account, which I'm pretty happy with, actually. I think that's pretty good odds, and 2 extra legendaries to add to my account. So I'm pretty happy with that. Please do let me know if you got any account-changing champions out of any pulls you did this weekend. And please let me know if you've got any advice on any of the champions I pulled and who I might be missing out on. As I said, Blizzard, I didn't build him out, but maybe he's the answer to hard Fire Knight for me. But apart from all that, guys, all I want to know is if you got anything good out of your pulls. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope to hear from you soon, and I'll see you next time.